Chosen ones, have you ever felt a single day carry a strange weight, like the air itself is holding its breath? September 16 is one of those days. Hidden forces shift, signs intensify, and choices matter more than ever. What unfolds on this date could change everything for you if you're paying attention. September 16 is not just another square on the calendar. It is a pivot point where time, energy, and destiny intersect in ways most people never realize. Dates like this hold a unique vibration, almost like a cosmic password that unlocks a certain door in the spiritual realm. If you've ever felt like certain days carry an unexplainable weight, where events feel charged, encounters seem fated, or emotions rise unexpectedly, then you already know how powerful time itself can be. September 16 is one of those days, and for the chosen ones, it carries an even deeper meaning. What makes this date significant is the convergence of multiple cycles. Astrologically and energetically, mid-September often acts as a turning point, a season where endings meet beginnings. In many traditions, this is the period where the year's harvest, both physical and spiritual, comes into view. What you've sown earlier in the year starts to show results, not just in your outer life, but in your inner growth. September 16 specifically functions like a checkpoint. It asks, are you aligned with your higher path, or have you strayed from it? The answer shows up in the form of signs, tests, and opportunities that suddenly appear around this date. To make it relatable, think of September 16 as a spiritual alarm clock. You might have been moving through your routines, sometimes even sleepwalking through life, but on this date, something jolts you awake. A dream may feel unusually vivid, a conversation might pierce straight into your heart, or an unexpected event could shift your perspective. These aren't coincidences, they are reminders that destiny doesn't wait forever. For the chosen ones, the universe is clear. Pay attention now or risk missing the moment. History also whispers its clues about days like these. Many life-changing events, whether collective or personal, tend to cluster around key windows where energy shifts globally. Wars, breakthroughs, personal turning points often have their roots in moments where cosmic timing was in play. September 16 aligns with this pattern, carrying the same undercurrent of transformation. For you, it may not look like a global event. It might simply be the day you finally decide to walk away from something toxic, or when you receive unexpected guidance that redirects your path. Small actions on this date can echo loudly into the future. The most important thing to understand is that September 16 is less about fear and more about awareness. It's not a curse or a trap, it's an invitation. When you approach it with open eyes and a willing heart, the day becomes a gateway to clarity, alignment, and opportunity. Instead of asking, what bad thing will happen, shift the question to, what truth is waiting to be revealed to me? That mindset alone transforms the day from something intimidating into something empowering. So when September 16 arrives, don't treat it as ordinary, treat it as sacred space, a date circled not just on your calendar, but in the unfolding story of your life. Because for the chosen ones, this is more than just a day, it's a summons to step fully into the destiny you were created for. What makes September 16 so powerful isn't just the date itself, it's the invisible current of energy running beneath it. Think of it like the ocean. Most people only see the surface waves, but deep underneath, powerful tides are pulling and shifting in ways you can't see. The same thing happens energetically during this time. There's a shift in vibration that touches emotions, thoughts, and even the body, whether we realize it or not. For the chosen ones, these energy shifts are magnified. You might feel unusually restless, unable to focus, or sensing a strange heaviness in the air. Some report vivid bursts of creativity, while others feel drained as if their batteries suddenly ran out. This isn't random, it's your system adjusting to new frequencies. Just as technology updates itself to function better, your spirit goes through downloads of wisdom and awareness when these hidden shifts occur. On a physical level, you might notice things like difficulty sleeping, headaches, or even sudden bursts of energy that come out of nowhere. Emotionally, the spectrum widens. One moment you may feel deeply reflective, and the next you could be unexpectedly irritable or teary. This isn't something to fear, it's the soul processing more than usual. Imagine it like cleaning out an old storage room, dust rises, things feel cluttered, but eventually everything becomes clearer and lighter. What's fascinating is how these shifts reveal truths. People who aren't aligned with you may suddenly irritate you more, or situations you've tolerated for too long start to feel unbearable. That's not negativity, it's clarity. The energy is showing you what no longer belongs in your life. At the same time, you might feel sudden excitement about something new, a career idea, a friendship, or spiritual practice. These aren't random sparks of interest. They're nudges from the universe to pay attention. To illustrate, picture standing in a dark room when the lights flicker on for a split second. You may not see everything in detail, but you catch glimpses, shapes, outlines, maybe even something you didn't know was there. That's what September 16's hidden energy shift feels like. It gives you a moment of heightened awareness where truth is revealed, even if only briefly. The challenge is to hold onto that insight before the lights dim again. So how should you handle this energy? The key is not to resist it. Instead of questioning why you feel off or pushing yourself to perform at the same pace, allow space for reflection. Take quiet time, breathe deeply, and notice the subtle changes around you. Keep a journal nearby. What comes to mind on this day may not be random thoughts, but guidance you'll need later. Protect your peace by limiting noise, whether it's chaotic news, draining conversations, or distractions that pull you away from clarity. The hidden energy shift of September 16 isn't here to break you, it's here to awaken you. If you embrace it with openness, it becomes less of a disruption and more of a gift. You're being fine-tuned, recalibrated, and aligned so that what comes next in your journey doesn't just happen to you, you step into it fully prepared. On September 16, one of the most powerful gateways to spiritual truth won't open in the sky, but in your own mind, through your dreams. While most nights our dreams are scattered fragments of the subconscious, during energy shift dates like this, dreams transform into portals. They become messages, codes, and even rehearsals for the next stage of your destiny. For the chosen ones, this is not something to brush off. What shows up in your dreams on this night may carry instructions from the higher realms that your waking mind could easily miss. Why are dreams so significant at this time? Because when energy shifts, the veil between the conscious and subconscious becomes thinner. Think of it as the moment when a locked door suddenly swings open. Normally, your logical mind filters and dismisses impressions, but during September 16, that filter weakens. The result is that your higher self, ancestors, or even divine guidance can speak to you more clearly. Dreams become the channel for truth that bypasses the noise of daily life. The kinds of dreams you might experience can vary. Some may be symbolic, walking through unfamiliar doors, climbing stairs, seeing mirrors, or uncuntung certain animals. Each carries meaning. For example, dreaming of water often symbolizes emotional cleansing, while seeing a key or doorway may signal an opportunity about to unlock in your waking life. Others may have more direct messages. You might dream of a conversation that feels startlingly real, or meet someone who delivers a sentence that lingers with you after waking. The important thing is not to dismiss these dreams as random. Many people unknowingly waste these portals by treating dreams as just dreams. But ask yourself, how many times have you had a dream that later played out in real life? For the chosen ones, this synchronicity is magnified. September 16 is a date where dreams act like previews of coming events or warnings about choices you must make. If ignored, opportunities may pass unnoticed. If unheralded, they can guide you to your exact path. To prepare, set the stage before you sleep. Keep your phone away from your bed and place a notebook and pen nearby. Before sleeping, say an affirmation like, "Tonight, I am open to receiving guidance through my dreams." This simple act of intention tunes your mind like an antenna to pick up what is being sent. When you wake, even if it's in the middle of the night, jot down everything you remember, symbols, emotions, kulkas, even one single word. Often, the smallest details carry the largest meaning. One of the most unpahang things about dream portals is that they level the playing field. You don't need expensive tools or access to rare knowledge. The messages arrive freely within you if you're willing to pay attention. And September 16 is the ideal time because the universe is amplifying this channel for the chosen ones. So when the night comes, don't treat sleep as just rest. Treat it as a sacred meeting, because the dream you have on September 16 could be the one that shows you the next step in your destiny. One of the most surprising aspects of September 16's energy shift is how strongly it influences the flow of abundance, particularly money. For the chosen ones, finances are never just numbers in a bank account, they're reflections of energy. And on this date, the financial current begins to stir, revealing hidden blockages and unexpected openings that can change everything. You might notice sudden shifts in how money comes and goes around this time. Perhaps an unexpected expense arises, testing your ability to stay calm and resourceful. Or maybe, just as suddenly, a financial opportunity appears, an offer, a collaboration, or even a chance encounter that opens a door you didn't know existed. These are not coincidences. They're signals that your relationship with abundance is being recalibrated. Think of money like water flowing through pipes. For months, the flow may have been blocked by old bluffs. I don't deserve more, I must struggle to survive, opportunities never come my way. September 16 acts like a wrench that loosens those pipes. At first, it might feel messy, leaks, bursts, or strange stops and starts. But the goal isn't chaos, it's cleansing. The universe is trying to flush out limiting patterns so you can receive more freely. This is also why financial triggers feel so intense around this date. If you've been anxious about bills or frustrated with slow progress in your work, the emotions may peak now. But instead of seeing this as a setback, view it as exposure. The energy is showing you the exact beliefs that need to be released. For example, if you notice yourself panicking about lack, the hidden message might be, trust that you are supported. Stop gripping so tightly to fear. If you find yourself tempted to overspend, the test may be about self-control and alignment. For some, opportunities may surface in unexpected ways, a random message from someone offering work, a forgotten idea resurfacing, or a chance to monetize a skill you've overlooked. The key is discernment. Not every financial shift is an open door. Some are distractions dressed as opportunities. The way to tell the difference is simple. Aligned opportunities feel lighter, more exciting, and come with peace. Distractions often carry pressure, fear, or a nagging sense of this doesn't feel right. So how should you navigate this financial energy flow? First, stay grounded. Avoid making big impulsive decisions on this date, especially if they're fueled by fear. Instead, observe what arises. Second, practice gratitude. Acknowledge what you already have, no matter how small, as this raises your vibration to attract more. Third, affirm abundance. Remind yourself, money flows to me in ways I expect and in ways I don't. Ultimately, September 16 is less about whether money enters or leaves your life, and more about teaching you how to align with abundance without fear. The financial flow around this date is like a rehearsal. If you can trust, stay grounded, and listen to intuition, you'll find that prosperity becomes less of a chase and more of a natural rhythm. If September 16 shines a light on finances, it casts an even brighter one on relationships. This is a day when bonds are tested, and the truth about the people around you is revealed in ways you may not expect. For the chosen ones, this can feel both unsettling and liberating, because relationships are mirrors of your spiritual journey. The people you surround yourself with either support your growth or quietly hold you back. On September 16, those roles become crystal clear. You may notice small cracks in relationships that once felt steady. A friend's words may suddenly sting more than usual, or a partner's actions might leave you questioning their loyalty. Family members may bring up old wounds, or carcas may show their hidden envy. These aren't random flare-ups. They are the universe lifting the veil, showing you what has always been there, but was easier to ignore. The energy of this date makes it impossible to keep living with illusions. But it's not only about negative revelations. September 16 can also highlight who truly stands with you. Some people may surprise you with genuine support, encouragement, or kindness at exactly the right time. Their presence will feel grounding, almost like a safe harbor when the waves of life get rough. The contrast is intentional. It helps you see clearly who is aligned with your destiny and who is. This testing energy is less about judging others and more about understanding alignment. Not every person who leaves your life is bad. Sometimes they've simply played their part in your story. Think of relationships like chapters in a book. Some characters appear for one page, others for a few chapters, and only a few remain until the end. September 16 reminds you which characters are meant to stay and which are meant to exit gracefully. One common test you might experience is sudden conflict. A conversation may escalate unexpectedly, or an old disagreement may resurface. Instead of reacting with anger, pause, ask yourself, Is this revealing something deeper? Is this relationship still aligned with where I am headed? Sometimes the test isn't about the other person at all. It's about whether you can handle the truth with maturity without falling back into old emotional patterns. Another test may come in the form of temptation. Someone from your past could reappear, trying to draw you back into cycles you've already outgrown. This, too, is a relationship test. The question isn't about them, it's about you. Will you recognize that you've evolved, or will you allow the old energy to pull you back? The key is to remain centered. Protect your peace, listen to your intuition, and don't cling to relationships out of fear of loneliness. Trust that when one door closes, another opens. The universe doesn't remove people from your life to punish you. It makes space for those who can walk with you into your higher calling. So if September 16 shakes your connections, don't see it as loss. See it as clarity, because on the other side of these tests lies freedom, the freedom to build relationships that reflect the strength, purpose, and love of the path you were always meant to walk. One of the most intriguing aspects of September 16 is how the universe uses encounters to speak directly to the chosen ones. On this day, you may find yourself crossing paths with people, events, or even repeated signs that feel oddly deliberate, like the world is holding up a mirror to your soul. These encounters are not random. They are carefully placed reminders, confirmations, or warnings meant to guide you. You might notice synchronicities, the repeated appearance of numbers like 11, 222, or 777, or hearing the same phrase from different people in the same day. Some may shrug these off as coincidences, but for you, they are signals. The universe doesn't waste time with accidents. It orchestrates patterns so that your spirit pays attention. These numbers, or repeating signs, act as mirrors, reflecting back the state of your alignment and pointing you toward your next steps. Beyond numbers, the encounters can be with people. Imagine bumping into someone you haven't seen in years, and their presence suddenly brings back lessons you thought you forgotten. Or perhaps a stranger says something in passing that feels as though it was meant just for you. These brief interactions may seem ordinary on the surface, but spiritually, they function as messages. The person themselves may not even realize they're being used as a vessel to deliver guidance, but you will feel it instantly, a quiet sense of that meant something. What's powerful about these encounters is that they often reflect your inner world. For example, if you keep meeting people who dismiss your ideas or undervalue you, the mirror is asking, do you undervalue yourself? If you keep running into kindness and support, it reflects the healing you've been doing within. In this way, the universe uses the external world as feedback, showing you what you carry inside. Another layer of these encounters is timing. On September 16, pay attention to who or what appears exactly when you're thinking about something important. Perhaps you're debating a decision, and suddenly you hear a song lyric that answers your question, or someone mentions a topic that aligns perfectly with your thoughts. These are not random, they're confirmations. The mirror is showing you that you're being guided, even in the smallest details. The key is to remain open. Too often, people dismiss these moments as strange coincidences and miss their guidance. Instead, treat every encounter on September 16 with curiosity. Ask yourself, what is this showing me about myself? What message might the universe be placing here? Even if the meaning isn't clear right away, trust that clarity will come later, often when you least expect it. The mirror of encounters is a reminder that you are never walking blind. The world around you is constantly reflecting truth back to you. You only need the eyes to see it. On September 16, the reflections grow sharper, the signs louder, and the encounters more meaningful. For the chosen ones, this is the universe's way of whispering, you are on the path. Keep watching, keep listening. Every breakthrough comes with a test, and September 16 is no different. If the universe is offering you clarity, guidance, and opportunities, it will also test whether you're truly ready to handle them. This is what we call the shadow test, a moment when your fears, doubts, or old patterns rise to the surface, challenging you to see if you've really outgrown them. For the chosen ones, this can feel like walking through fire. But remember, fire doesn't just burn, it also purifies. The shadow test often shows up suddenly and unexpectedly. You may feel overwhelmed by emotions you thought you had conquered, anger, jealousy, insecurity, or fear of failure. Old habits you worked hard to break might suddenly feel tempting again. You might find yourself pulled into conflicts, tempted to react impulsively, or pressured to return to cycles you know are not healthy. The timing isn't random. It happens when you're closest to your next level of growth. Think of it like this. Before advancing to the next stage of your journey, the universe asks you one question: are you ready? The shadow test is the exam. For example, if you've struggled with patience, you may be tested with delays or frustrations on this day. If you've battled self-worth, someone may try to undermine your confidence. If you've been working on discipline, temptations to give up may suddenly feel louder. These aren't punishments, they are checks to see if you've embodied the lessons you've learned. The most challenging part of the shadow test is that it often feels personal. You might think, why now? Why is this happening on such an important day? But that's precisely the point. Light attracts shadow. The closer you are to breakthrough, the stronger the resistance becomes. Just like muscles grow by being pushed to their limit, your spirit grows by standing firm when shadows rise. So how do you handle the shadow test? The first step is awareness. Instead of panicking or blaming yourself, recognize the pattern. This is a test. This isn't me falling back, it's me being asked to prove my growth. The second step is response. Don't fight shadows with shadows. Instead of reacting with anger or fear, respond with calmness, patience, and alignment. Even walking away from conflict can be a sign of strength. One helpful strategy is to pause before acting. If you feel triggered, give yourself space to breathe, journal, or pray. This shifts the energy from reaction to reflection, proving that you've learned how to master your emotions. Remember, the shadow test isn't about perfection, it's about progress. If you respond even slightly better than you would have in the past, you've already passed. The shadow test of September 16 may feel uncomfortable, but it is also the clearest confirmation that you're on the right path. The shadows only rise because the light inside you is growing stronger. And once you recognize that truth, what once felt like an obstacle becomes proof that your destiny is closer than ever. September 16 isn't only about signs, tests, and encounters, it's also about the unmistakable tug of purpose. On this date, many chosen ones will feel an inner call, a stirring deep within that whispers, "It's time." This call may not come with flashing lights or booming voices. Instead, it often arrives as restlessness, dissatisfaction with the ordinary, or a sudden urge to pursue something greater. It's subtle but powerful, like a compass pointing north when you've been wandering without direction. This call can manifest in different ways. For some, it may feel like a growing discomfort with routines that once seemed fine. The job you tolerated may suddenly feel unbearable, or the conversations you engage in may feel shallow and draining. For others, it could feel like attraction, a pull towards something new. Maybe you feel drawn to start a project, write a book, change careers, or deepen your spiritual practice. The details may differ, but the essence is the same. You sense that where you are is no longer enough, and something greater is waiting. The reason this call is so strong on September 16 is because the energy acts as an amplifier. It takes the quiet whispers you've ignored all year and turns up the volume. Think of it as a phone that's been buzzing quietly in your pocket for months, and suddenly on this date, it rings loudly. You can't ignore it anymore. The universe is urging you to pick up and answer. Now here, where it gets challenging, the call of higher purpose often requires courage. It may push you toward uncomfortable choices, leaving behind stability, facing uncertainty, or walking away from relationships that don't support your growth. That's why many people miss it. They hear the call but convince themselves it's not the right time. But the truth is, there is no perfect time. Destiny rarely fits neatly into our schedules. For the chosen ones, the invitation is clear. Trust the call, even if the path isn't fully visible. You don't need to know every detail right away. Purpose unfolds in steps, not leaps. For example, if you feel called to teach, the first step may simply be sharpening your knowledge with one person. If you feel called to create, the first step could be setting aside 1 hour to begin. The energy of September 16 rewards action, even small action, because it signals faith. To align with this call, pause and reflect. What has been tugging at my heart lately? What dream or idea keeps resurfacing no matter how much I push it aside? Write it down, pray or meditate for clarity. Then take one concrete step toward it. It doesn't need to be big, it only needs to be intentional. The call of higher purpose is not a demand, it's an invitation. It's the universe saying, you are ready, stop doubting yourself, step into the reason you were created. On September 16, if you lean in and listen, you may discover that the restlessness you've been feeling isn't emptiness, it's destiny knocking on your door. One of the greatest risks around September 16 isn't the presence of challenges, it's the choice to ignore the signs altogether. The universe speaks in whispers first, a repeated dream, a sudden feeling, a strange coincidence, or even a deep inner nudge. If those whispers are overlooked, they grow louder, and sometimes they become disruptions in your life. For the chosen ones, ignoring the signs on this date isn't harmless. It can delay your growth, close doors of opportunity, and leave you feeling stuck in cycles you were meant to escape. Think of life like a journey with road signs. When you're driving and you miss a turn, you don't disappear, you just take the long way around. The same happens spiritually. Ignoring signs doesn't erase your destiny, but it can stretch out the process, making things harder than they need to be. You may find yourself repeating the same lessons, meeting the same kind of draining people, or facing similar challenges over and over again. Why? Because the universe keeps presenting the lesson until you choose to learn it. On September 16, this danger intensifies. The signs that appear on this day aren't ordinary, they're aligned with your higher path. Missing them can feel like missing a train that only comes once in a while. Maybe you feel the urge to reach out to someone, but you dismiss it. Later, you realize that one conversation could have opened a major door for you, or perhaps you're warned by your intuition not to enter a situation, but you ignore it out of convenience, and it leads to unnecessary struggle. These are the hidden costs of ignoring signs, not punishment, but missed alignment. Why do so many people ignore signs? Often because they expect something dramatic. They wait for lightning bolts or visions in the sky, when in reality, guidance often comes quietly. A repeated number, a song lyric that answers your question, a gut feeling you can't shake. These are signs, subtle but powerful. For chosen ones, learning to honor these small signals is one of the most important skills you can develop. Another danger of ignoring signs is energy leak. When you overlook what's being shown to you, your spirit feels restless. You may waste time in relationships, jobs, or habits that no longer serve you. That restlessness builds frustration, which drains your energy and confidence. The universe isn't trying to frustrate you, it's trying to wake you up. The solution is simple but requires faith. Pay attention and act, even when it feels small. If you sense you should journal, do it. If you feel called to let go of something, trust that release. If an opportunity appears, explore it rather than dismissing it. Small actions on signs can prevent big regrets later. The danger of ignoring signs on September 16 is real, but so is the reward of noticing them. When you treat every whisper as sacred, you align yourself with destiny more quickly and more gracefully. And instead of stumbling through repeated cycles, you'll find yourself stepping forward with clarity, confidence, and peace. If the earlier parts of September 16 reveal tests, signs, and opportunities, this section is about what comes after, the upgrade. Every shift in energy has a purpose, and on this date, the purpose is clear. The universe is offering the chosen ones a spiritual upgrade. Think of it as installing a new operating system on your inner being. The old patterns, fears, and limitations that once controlled you begin to lose power, and a new, higher version of yourself starts to take shape. This upgrade often begins subtly. You might wake up feeling lighter, as though a burden you've carried for months suddenly feels less heavy. Or you may find that situations that once triggered you no longer have the same hold on your emotions. These are signs that your frequency is changing. Just like a phone or computer can't run new apps on outdated software, your spirit can't step into the next phase of destiny without shedding old programs. September 16 brings the opportunity to update your spiritual software. The upgrade also shows itself through heightened intuition. Around this date, many chosen ones report sharper gut feelings, clearer inner voices, or sudden flashes of knowing. For example, you might meet someone and instantly sense their intentions, even before they speak. Or you may feel a strong inner push to move in a specific direction, despite having no logical reason why. This is the universe fine-tuning your guidance system, so you can navigate the road ahead with more clarity and less confusion. On a physical level, upgrades can feel like both tension and release. Some people experience headaches, tingling, or changes in sleep patterns. Others describe moments of deep peace, like being plugged into a higher source of calm. Both are signs that your body is adjusting to new energy frequencies. If you feel discomfort, remember that it's temporary, the same way muscles ache before they grow stronger. To stabilize this upgrade, you need grounding practices. Meditation, prayer, journaling, or even simply walking in nature can help anchor the new energy so it doesn't feel overwhelming. Cleansing rituals, like lighting a candle with intention, using sage or incense, or taking a salt bath, can also support your system in integrating the change. The goal is not just to receive the upgrade, but to embody it so it becomes a natural part of how you live and respond. The most empowering part of the spiritual upgrade is the awareness it brings. Suddenly, you may see your past struggles in a new light, recognizing the lessons instead of only the pain. You may notice more gratitude for small blessings or a stronger sense of alignment with your higher self. This isn't an accident, it's the result of the upgrade doing its work. On September 16, the universe asks you, are you ready for the next version of yourself? If you say yes, by embracing the shifts, trusting your intuition, and grounding your energy, you'll find that this upgrade isn't just about spiritual growth. It's about preparing you to step into opportunities, relationships, and levels of purpose that your old self could never have handled. Every time light grows brighter, shadows grow bolder. And on September 16, when the chosen ones are receiving signs, upgrades, and clarity, they also become more visible to forces that thrive on distraction and negativity. This is why energy protection becomes so crucial on this date. It isn't about living in fear, it's about being wise enough to guard the light within you so it doesn't get dimmed. You may notice subtle forms of spiritual warfare on this day. Perhaps someone close to you suddenly picks a fight over something small, or you may feel drained after spending time with certain people as if your energy has been siphoned away. Even scrolling through social media might leave you heavier than before, with comparison or fear creeping into your mind. These are not coincidences, they're signs that your energy is under attack, precisely because it has grown more valuable. Energy attacks don't always look dramatic. Sometimes they arrive in whispers of self-doubt. You're not ready, you'll fail, nothing will change. Other times, they appear as envy, gossip, or subtle negativity from others who can sense your rising vibration, even if they don't consciously understand it. The closer you are to a breakthrough, the more important it becomes to protect your energy fiercely. So how do you guard yourself? First, by setting clear boundaries. Not every phone call needs to be answered, not every argument deserves your voice, and not every opinion about you needs your attention. Protecting your energy means learning to say no without guilt and yes, only to what feeds your spirit. Second, use spiritual tools. Prayer, affirmations, or protective visualizations are powerful shields. Imagine yourself surrounded by a field of light, like a golden barrier that blocks negativity but allows love and wisdom to pass through. This isn't imagination, it's intention, and intention shapes reality. Some also find strength in practical rituals, lighting a candle, wearing protective symbols, or cleansing their space with sage, incense, or even simple deep breaths. Third, watch what you consume, not just food, but media, conversations, and environments. On September 16, the veil is thin, which means you absorb more easily. Be intentional about the music you listen to, the shows you watch, and the words you repeat. Every input is either nourishing your light or weakening it. Finally, remember that protection isn't only about defense, it's about staying aligned with love. The more you operate from peace, gratitude, and faith, the harder it is for negativity to attach itself to you. Darkness feeds on fear and chaos, light expands through calm and clarity. Choosing to remain grounded and centered is itself an act of protection. The battle of energy protection isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to remind you that your light matters and that it's worth guarding. On September 16, when the spiritual atmosphere is heightened, be mindful of what you allow near your soul. Protect your energy like a treasure, because it is. And when you do, you'll find that no shadow, no envy, and no distraction can stop the destiny that's unfolding for you. September 16 isn't just about tests and warnings, it's also about doors. On this date, the universe presents the chosen ones with openings that may seem small at first, but carry the power to change everything. These divine doors of opportunity are not like ordinary chances. They arrive with a sense of alignment, a feeling that something bigger is at play. And while they may not always look glamorous, stepping through them can lead to transformation far beyond what you expect. These doors often show up as subtle invitations. You might be offered a chance to collaborate, asked to share your skills, or invited into a space that stretches you out of your comfort zone. Sometimes, the door isn't external, it's internal. A sudden realization that it's time to let go of fear, start that project, or finally speak your truth. The key is recognizing that these moments are not random. They're divine appointments, placed on your path at exactly the right time. The challenge with divine doors is that they rarely come labeled. They don't announce themselves with glowing signs or loud confirmations. Instead, they appear disguised as ordinary situations, an unexpected phone call, a small opportunity at work, or a chance meeting with someone who carries the missing piece to your puzzle. Many people overlook them because they expect something bigger, but for the chosen ones, the lesson is clear. Do not despise small beginnings. A tiny step through the right door can shift your entire destiny. At the same time, not every door is meant to be opened. September 16 tests your discernment. Some opportunities will be distractions designed to pull you away from your higher calling. The difference lies in how they feel. True divine doors carry peace, even if they're challenging. They excite your spirit, even if they require courage. False doors, on the other hand, carry pressure, anxiety, or a sense of heaviness. When faced with choices, pause and ask, does this align with my purpose? Does this feel like growth or like compromise? The answers will guide you. An example, imagine you've been praying for financial breakthrough. On September 16, two opportunities show up, one promising quick money but leaving you uneasy, and another requiring effort but sparking passion inside you. The divine door is the one aligned with peace and long-term growth, not just immediate gain. Trusting that inner compass is how you distinguish destiny from distraction. To prepare yourself for these doors, cultivate readiness. Keep your heart open, your spirit attentive, and your courage strong. Write down ideas that come to you, say yes when the nudge feels right, and don't hesitate out of fear. Sometimes the door only stays open for a brief moment, and while another may come later, this one may hold a unique blessing that won't repeat in the same way. September 16 reminds you that divine doors are everywhere. You only need the eyes to see them and the courage to walk through. For the chosen ones, this is not the time to hesitate. When the door opens, step boldly, because what waits on the other side may not just change your day, it may change your life. Awareness alone is powerful, but on September 16, action is what anchors the energy into your life. The chosen ones aren't just called to notice signs and opportunities, they're called to align with them. And one of the most effective ways to do that is through affirmations and spiritual practices. These tools may seem simple, but they carry the power to stabilize your energy, clear away fear, and tune your spirit to receive the upgrades and opportunities the day is offering. Start with affirmations. Words shape energy, and energy shapes reality. When you speak affirmations, you're not just saying nice things, you're programming your subconscious and declaring to the universe what you're ready to align with. On September 16, consider speaking affirmations like, I am aligned with my higher path. I am protected, guided, and supported. Opportunities flow to me with ease and clarity. I trust the signs and act with courage. Say these aloud in the morning when your mind is still fresh, or write them down to carry with you throughout the day. The repetition builds resonance, helping you stay centered even when external chaos tries to distract you. Beyond affirmations, grounding practices are essential. On a day where energy shifts so strongly, it's easy to feel scattered or overwhelmed. Take time in the morning to sit in silence, breathe deeply, and visualize light filling your body. Journaling is also powerful. Write down your dreams, signs, or intuitive nudges from the day. What may seem like small notes at first could reveal clear patterns when you look back. Another practice is cleansing your space. Light a candle with intention, burn incense, or use sage or Palo Santo if that resonates with you. These rituals are not about superstition, they're about creating an atmosphere that supports peace and focus. Just as you wouldn't host an important guest in a cluttered room, you shouldn't step into a divine alignment surrounded by energetic clutter. Prayer or meditation also play a central role. This isn't about long, complicated words. Sometimes the most powerful prayer is as simple as "guide me" or "show me the next step." The point is to open yourself to guidance and strengthen the connection with your higher source. Even 5 minutes of intentional stillness can align you more than hours of scattered activity. Finally, invite community. On September 16, encourage those around you or even your online community to share their affirmations. When chosen ones unite in intention, the energy multiplies. You could post your affirmation in a group, comment it under a video, or share it with a trusted friend. Speaking truth together creates collective strength. Remember, practices are not chores. They're sacred pauses that remind you who you are and what you're capable of. On September 16, they're the bridge between awareness and action. By grounding yourself in affirmations, cleansing, and prayer, you ensure that the energy of this day doesn't just pass over you, it flows through you, reshaping your path with clarity and power. September 16 is not just another date, it is a crossroads. For the chosen ones, it stands as a final warning and a final invitation. The energy of this day carries urgency. It whispers that time is precious, that destiny cannot be postponed forever, and that ignoring the call will have consequences. The final destiny warning is not about fear, it's about truth. It is the universe's way of saying, this is your moment, do not miss it. On this date, everything you've been sensing through dreams, encounters, tests, and opportunities will come together in a way that demands attention. The signs will be too clear to dismiss. If you've been delaying a decision, holding on to relationships that drain you, or ignoring the call of your higher purpose, September 16 is the day those choices come to the surface. The warning is simple: act now or risk repeating cycles that will only grow heavier with time. This isn't to say your destiny will disappear if you hesitate, but just like a train that departs on schedule, the timing matters. Missing the moment doesn't mean the train won't come again. It just means the journey will be longer, harder, and filled with unnecessary detours. The universe offers windows of alignment, and September 16 is one of those rare openings where change can happen more quickly, where blessings can flow more freely, and where clarity is sharper than usual. To ignore it is to choose delay. The final destiny warning also carries a personal challenge. Will you rise to the version of yourself you've been preparing to become? Growth is never comfortable. It asks you to leave behind safety, to walk through uncertainty, and to trust the unseen. On this day, you may feel that inner tug more strongly than ever, the call to release the old and embrace the unknown. That tug is not your imagination, it is destiny knocking. For some, this warning will arrive as restlessness, a sense that I can't keep living like this. For others, it may show up as an external push, a situation falling apart, a door closing, or a truth revealed that can't be ignored. These are not punishments. They are wake-up calls, meant to shake you out of complacency and propel you into alignment with your higher path. The beauty of the final destiny warning is that it always comes with hope. You are not being shown these truths to scare you, but to empower you, to remind you that you have the strength to change, the wisdom to discern, and the courage to act. The universe would not place this energy before you if you weren't ready. So when September 16 arrives, step into it boldly. Declare that you are awake, aware, and ready. Treat every sign, every whisper, and every opportunity as sacred, because this day is more than a date, it is a door. And for the chosen ones, walking through it means stepping into the destiny that has been waiting for you all along.